right, so we need to talk about Wicked. That's right, we're going to talk about Wicked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From Pillar to Post. Um, I have very, very mixed feelings about this. First off, it does kind of stay true to the musical with the songs and everything. The songs are there. Um, and I will say this for the most part. It is a very, very poorly paced movie. This is proof. This movie is absolute proof that Broadway does not always transfer to the big screen. There's a lot of set pieces in here that are just stupid, that would look better on Broadway. And the reason why I say that is because when you go to a Broadway show, and I've been to several off-Broadway shows, let's see, I'll tell you what all I've seen. I've seen Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat on off-Broadway. I saw The Book of Mormon off-Broadway, which was awesome. I've seen Pretty Woman the Musical, that off-Broadway. I will say this. Because it's there and it's in front of you and it's mere feet away from you, it translates a lot better than something that is being projected on a huge screen. Now, let's get the elephant out of the way here, first of all. Cynthia Erivo does an amazing job in this movie. I liked her performance. I liked her singing. However, the controversy over the Wicked poster and her, on the playbill in front of you, there on the right-hand side of your screen, is the original poster for the movie Wicked. It's black and white. It's yin and yang. You got the flying monkeys in the background. And it's a very good poster. Now, when they did the new poster, it's her basically, it's Erivo basically having an oh my god look on her face. And you can see her whole face. It's not, there's no mystery there. The reason why this playbill and this poster right here works is because there's mystery. Is she really evil? Is she going to be really evil? What is the definition of evil? You have the yin yang, and the yin and yang, the white side is always, is associated with light, therefore good. But as we learn here, it's not always the case. Now, here's where I will give you a spoiler warning. I am going to have a lot of spoilers here because I have to give my thoughts on this. So this movie has been trying to get made. Golly, let's see here. Production. Let me get to the production on this. Probably about let's see. In 2003, it was adapted for the music for the Broadway stage. I can remember sitting at my computer in my mother's house 20 years ago, and the internet was ablaze about Wicked. Anytime somebody discussed a musical, it was Wicked. Wicked, I mean, it for all intents and purposes, with Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel, it is an awesome musical. And again, it does not translate to the screen. I'm gonna read to you what I was gonna write on Facebook before I hit the send button here. Wicked the movie doesn't really get good until the 3/4 of the way through. The first 2 hours are very slowly paced, and there's very little in the way of moving along the overall plot. There is a lot of wokeness that the audience I was in just overly groaned at, and there were even some comments of quote unquote, really, we're going there? You could almost feel the eye rolling in the theater. Now, I don't know if the overall musical does this or not. There's a scene in the film where Jonathan Bailey's character, Fiyero Tiglair, he's a prince from Winkle Country. Winkle Country, or Winky Country. Now, I will say this. Jonathan Bailey, He's had he's most notably known for Bridgerton. So I went into this not knowing who this guy was. I did know who Cynthia Erivo was, and I did know who Ariana Grande was, because I grew up with, my son grew up watching Cat and whatever Ariana, he knows who Ariana Grande is. Now, despite all the controversy, again, Cynthia Erivo does a fantastic job. Ariana Grande, not so much. Now, I don't know if this is the way the director wanted it. I don't know if this is the way that Ariana Grande was going to portray it. I don't know if this is how the character, regardless of who plays it, is meant to be played. But you can tell certain spots where Kristen Chenoweth was. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get it right. All right, it's Kristen Chenoweth or Chenoweth. Sorry, guys. It's late at night when I'm recording this, and I literally just got back from the movie theater, and so. And I will tell you this: there is a certain part of this movie that I pop for, and I'll get to it. But Ariana Grande is doing her best Kristen Chenoweth impression. From the way she sings the high notes, even when she's not singing, there's certain lines in this movie that are delivered that you could tell, okay, she's trying to copy Kristen Chenoweth here. And my thing is, Kristen Chenoweth is how old? Let me see how old she is. Of course, Kristen Chenoweth, well-decorated Broadway actress. As is Idina Menzel, who originally played Felba. Chenoweth is 56, Menzel's 53. And I will tell you this. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. And I know that I'm going to get probably a lot of "are you kidding me" out of this. But these two actresses look better now than Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo look in this movie. I'll go ahead and spoil it. They have a cameo in the movie. Chenoweth and Menzel have a Marvel style, kind of think about how Matt Damon had a cameo in one of the Thor movies, The Dark World, I think it was, in the play scene. They copy that full bore in Wicked. So Menzel and Chenoweth have cameos in this movie. They sing right alongside their counterparts, and I'm sitting here going, these two lovely women look better, sound better, act better, play the role better than Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande do. But we'll get to there. We'll get there. I will tell you that the rest of the cast here, Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible does a good job. Bowen Yang, of course, is from Saturday Night Live. Let's get I have mixed feelings about this. Let's get this out of the way. You go woke, you go broke is not going to apply to this because of the source material and because it is Wicked and it is related to a lot of people are going to go into this going, oh man, it's a continuation of the Wizard of Oz. Or it's a backstory of the Wizard of Oz. There is a lot, especially in the scene where Fiyero has his big dance number at the beginning of his character introduction. First off, you're just told that he's a prince from Winky Land. We don't know what Winky Land or Winky Country. We don't know what a Winky Country is in this movie. They don't bother to explain anything about the 4 quadrants of Oz. north, south, east, and west, and where they are, and what they are, and where they live, and all that. They don't bother to explain a single thing in this. Now, I don't know if they explain it in the musical, but here in this movie, they don't explain a freaking thing about this world. There's a part in the movie where the wizard, who is played actually very well by Jeff Goldblum, shows you a big map of the Land of Oz. And the only thing we get explained to us is why the road is golden. Why there's a yellow brick road. We don't get, none of the rest of this world is built for, there's no world building at all. We get introduced, anyway, I don't know, it's all over the place, guys, I'm sorry. But that scene in the movie where Jonathan Bailey's character gets introduced and he has his big dance number, when I say there was a lot of really we're going there, there's a lot of queer baiting in this movie. A lot of it. I get it. This guy is a prince and he's supposed to be the bee's knees. He's supposed to be the most good looking guy in the room. But there's a difference in portraying that all men want to be him as opposed to the fact that all men want to be with him. There's a big difference there. And in this movie, it's everybody wants to fuck this guy. Whether you're man, woman, child, whatever. Well, I won't go say child, but man or woman, whatever. And I don't think that's the way the character is supposed to be played. Yeah, you can have one guy be gay and want to, there's a thing where all these men are lining up. Or all these women are lining up to get a peek at this guy, and they have one gay guy does the feminine hair flick and the wink at the guy, and I literally heard groans in the movie theater when this happened. A lot of groaning and a lot of we're gonna go there. I mean, you could almost feel the eye rolling throughout that entire dance sequence. I will say that Ethan Slater does a really good job as Bach. I really liked his portrayal of the character. He played SpongeBob SquarePants in the SpongeBob SquarePants musical, where he received a Tony Award and Tony Award nomination and a Drama Desk Award. Peter Dinklage does a very good job of voicing Dr. Dilliman, the goat. It's weird how, again, Peter Dinklage continues to not protest for his own community. Because there are no little people in this movie. There are none. Absolutely none. Every munchkin is a camera-tricked regular person. It's wrong. Marissa Bode as Nessa Rose does really good in this movie. They did a good job setting up her child, Elphaba's childhood. And why she's attached to animals. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of this. And I would have liked to, in the book it said that Elphaba has a water allergy. That's why she can't. I believe it's even described in the book as when they try to bathe her, it's very painful for her, so they stop. And they realize she can't go near water. She can't touch water. So that's not really explained in this movie. There's a lot of backstory that is explained in the book that should be explained in this musical. And it's not. I will say that Bronwyn Jones does a very good job portraying Shin Shin. Which brings me to another point in this movie. For the most part, we are trained in this movie to believe that all white people are evil. This girl Shin Shin, evil. The wizard is evil. to a certain extent, even the Jonathan Briley's character or Bailey's character is evil. Up until he kind of redeems himself. He does redeem himself a little bit. But for the most part, he's a jerk. I mean, even the Asian woman, Michelle Yeoh, ends up being evil. Anybody who is being portrayed by a white male in this movie is either gay or evil. So they continue this mess. And I know why they do it. Because the Academy has said that we got to have diversity in our movies, and if you're not diverse enough, you can't be nominated for an Academy Award. And Cynthia Erivo is probably going to be nominated for and is probably going to win the Academy Award for Best Actress this year. She does that good of a job, in my opinion. And I just hope that the whole poster / social media controversy surrounding her does not hinder that. I don't think it will, but I hope she learned a lesson from it. Let's see what else. There's a lot of set pieces in this movie that do not translate from like, I bet you it looked better on the Broadway version, is what I'm getting at. They don't translate to the big screen very well. Case in point, there's a lot of set pieces here, like the big library scene, where Fiyero is dancing around and wooing everybody. I get the sense of that big dance number looked way better on stage and sounded probably way better on stage than it did on the big screen. The scene where Elphaba gets lured into having this to this party by Glinda, and she starts to do this goofy little dance, and eventually Glinda joins in, or Galinda, it's Glinda. Anyway, she joins in, and everybody's now doing the goofy little dance. That scene right there probably looked better on stage. Again, because it's human interaction. You're there seeing it in person, as opposed to somebody acting it out on the big screen. What else? The actual wizard scene. The scene where we see the wizard and the big mechanical robot, and then it gets revealed that nope, he's a real person. I guarantee you that big robot thing looked way better on stage. I'll go as far as to say that the 1930s version of The Wizard of Oz, when they go meet the wizard and you see the giant floating head with the fire, and it even the cowardly lion runs out and dives through the window, scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. That like 1930s representation looked better than the one in Wicked. It did. And I guarantee you they do something different on stage and it translates better on stage. The balloon scene where they try to hijack the balloon probably looks way better on stage. Because A, it's practical effects. 90% of the stuff you see on a Broadway stage is practical. There's a little LED and smoke and mirrors there, but you can't really do but so much. That's another thing. The CGI in this movie is borderline, they have some really cool looking set pieces. And the sound design in the movie is really good. The music in the movie is really good. Except for, and I hope we get it in part 2, because they did divide this up into parts. They even tell you that right at the beginning. I hope we get the Wicked Witch of the West theme. And I hope we see, in the beginning of the movie, they do show her quote unquote death, and we do see a brief glimpse. It's a digital AI representation. It's not real humans, of Dorothy, the Tin Man, Scarecrow, and the Lion, along with Toto, carrying the witch's broom back to the Emerald City. I hope to God we get. I want to see who plays Dorothy in this sequel, and it's a very important part of the story that can't be just brushed over. Let's see what else here. It's just a lot to do with the acting. Ariana Grande's acting in particular is just horrible. Honestly, it's horrible. She's very, very, very much trying to copy Kristen Chenoweth's portrayal of Glinda. Cynthia Erivo absolutely makes it her own and does a really good job of it. But there's just something about this. The first 2/3 of this movie, they don't even bother to explain to you. They don't even bother to explain to you. Basically what shiz is. They don't explain to you really, what that is. And we just automatically are trained. I guess it's Harry Potter's fault. We're just automatically trained to, it's magic school. And Ariana Grande, the way they portray her with all the pink and everything like that, yes, I'm sure that's true to the movie, but it lended itself way more into Legally Blonde territory was what I got. Legally Blonde mixed with Oz. But the movie does not really pick up for me. I really did not start getting into this a darn bit until they went to the Emerald City and met the wizard. I'm like, oh yeah, shit's getting good now. It was actually the last third of this movie is very good. I liked it. I like the fact that they show the monkeys getting their wings and how they get them. I like the fact that we finally kind of get a "it was you all along" type thing. You seen it coming from a mile away. But I know this review is all over the place, guys. I mean, I'm going on 22 minutes here, 23 minutes. But overall, you can go and watch the last third of this movie and maybe the first 10 minutes of the movie, like the opening number. And that's all you need. That's all you need. The friendship part of it, I never bought. That's another thing. The chemistry between Erivo and Grande is just not there. These two have no chemistry on the screen whatsoever. I didn't like I honestly want to see Ariana Grande recast. People can talk about Erivo all she wants to. And they race swapped it, which no, they didn't. African American women have played Elphaba on stage, so don't give me that. Now, how she chose to go about marketing herself for the movie when somebody was just trying to recreate that picture to make it look more like the Broadway play, and she, of all things, she gets mad over that. I'd be more mad about the fact that certain set pieces don't translate to the big screen well. You spent how long getting this movie made? And it looks like that in it looks like crap. Certain set pieces look like crap. But then there are other set pieces that are like, holy crap, this looks awesome. Sound design, costume design. The costumes in this movie are good. Really good. But for me, pacing wise, the first 10, 20 minutes of the movie, good. And then maybe the last 45 minutes to an hour of the movie, good. In the middle, you can skip it. It's tale as old as time. It's nothing new. It's boring. I didn't like it. I didn't like it a bit. Except for Cynthia Erivo's acting and singing. I enjoyed that. But the overall plot holes and how they don't explain things and We keep seeing Winky Land. He's from Winky Land. Well, okay, well, what is Winky Land? We never heard that. We know what Munchkin Land is. We know where Oz is. But from a world building standpoint, that's pretty much all we know. And just because it's not explained in the 1930s film doesn't mean you can't turn around and explain it here. But overall, if I had to rate this movie out of 5 stars, it's a solid 3. I'll go ahead and lower it down, maybe 2 3/4. 2 3/4. The first act and a half is really hard to sit through. I didn't find myself laughing. I didn't find myself wanting to sing along. And that's another thing that people are complaining about, is people who have seen the Broadway musical are now going into the movie theaters and singing along with the movie. Now, if you want to market this as a special sing-along version of Wicked, which no doubt they will do, I would not put it past people around March or April to re-release this movie as a sing-along version. Go to the theaters, knock yourselves out. Sit at home, knock yourselves out. But if it's not released as a sing-along version, don't talk during the movie in the movie theaters. Don't sing along during the movie in the movie theaters. Yes, but Joe, it's a musical. I don't care. Learn proper theater etiquette. When you go to Broadway, you don't sing along with the songs unless the people on stage break the fourth wall and invite you to. It's called respect. It's different when you go see, when you go see Billy Joel and you want to sing along with him, or when you go see Taylor Swift and you want to sing along with her. But learn some theater etiquette. Don't sing along with these movies unless they market it to you to do so. Anyway, folks, this movie's going to make a ton of money. It's going to be November 21st, 2025 is when part 2 is going to come out. I think they've already started filming. This says, November 2022, Schwartz revealed that the film will include 2 new songs to meet the demands of storytelling. Well, you had a chance to do that here, and you didn't do it. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me. It's getting late. I'm tired. But that's my review of Wicked. 2 3/4 out of 5. It's just the first chunk of this movie drags it down so much. Characters just show up with no background, without any meaning. Why are animals talking in this world? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Anyway, folks, we'll see you down the road.